here I'm with Holly and Brian. These guys are basically just champs, like the GOAT that I've seen so far in Boston, Massachusetts. This is probably a money printer. These are the money printers. Guys, I told you already about OPC, and this is the exact proof that OPC actually works, right? So here's a couple that I actually met with over 100 cars on Turo. Most of them are all OPCs owned by other people, and today I'm here to talk to them and let you guys know exactly how they've been doing this, because I tell you guys about this business all the time. You now have the opportunity to see it in full-fledged proof. These guys right now, we're operating in Massachusetts, and they basically scaled from basically having like no cars to now having over 100 cars on Turo. So I think it's about like, I don't know, maybe 120 they said. This is what they told me from the beginning, but here we came in their lot. This is their lot. We came to meet them, but just let's go and see how it is over here. So these guys basically have everything from Cybertrucks, BMWs, Mercedes, literally every single car that you can even think about, bro. I think I've even seen like Corvettes in here once. So these people are people who I've partnered with before, and this is, I can tell you right now, these are the proven fact that these guys are legit. Everything is smooth. They have probably hundreds of different vehicle partners that they also work with right now. So this is the actual proof to show you guys that this actually works. But come on in and I'm gonna show you their lot. All right, so here I'm with Holly and Brian, and these guys are basically just champs, like the GOAT that I've seen so far in Boston, Massachusetts. And these guys have how much now? Like over 100 cars?
120.
120 cars. Where do you even hear that, right? So most times I tell people OPC is real. It is guaranteed real. Like I see some of you guys saying that, oh, this business model doesn't work. Ask these guys. They've made it work. So I want you guys to show me some of the cars here.
Sure.
And like show me what you guys basically have going on.
We have anything from Hondas to Acuras, Toyotas, Teslas, Mazdas. We got the Dodge Ram.
Insane.
Audis, and then we just got this 2025 Mercedes Sprinter van.
Wow. And obviously, like you can see there a lot. None of the cars are here because they're obviously rented, right? So this is the whole proof that this model works. So you guys have like a lot of space here, bro.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah, that's what you want.
So like, if I'm in like the Boston market, what's basically going out the most? What's basically rented the most? What do you see rents the most here?
Mostly economy cars. We have a lot of, small compact cars because people come in and they're coming either like on business or quickly with their families. They need a car for a couple of days. And they don't want to spend sometimes a lot of money, but they want something that's going to get them from point A to point B.
Something nice.
Exactly. So we try to provide a little bit of everything for everybody. Wow,
that is actually pretty cool, bro. Because now I've seen this business model and I've been telling people that like I do this business model myself. This is something that I've just seen worked over and over, right? When it came on to like your first car, how did you convince the first person to send you a car from the beginning?
Honestly, it was probably more of an instinctive thing.
Yep.
We took on a Tesla Model 3, and I think the guy basically threw his key at us and was like, knew that we did Turo full time and that we had the space and the availability to do it full time, and he didn't want to do it anymore, so he just handed it over and was like, just tell me when it's rented.
That's absolutely crazy. So then, okay, so you got that first guy. So what made you feel like, okay, this business model works and I'm gonna do it again with other people?
Well, I knew it would be a good idea because if you think about the longevity of cars, there's people who, have a car for a short period of time or a long period of time.
Wow.
And people who especially have multiple cars, once they start doing this over a longer period of time, they realize this is a lot of work and they can't sit down all day long and talk to people and, do the maintenance on their cars and so on and so forth. So people just started to, we started approaching a lot more people, especially in the Boston area, because we see the same people over at the airport, at some of the different locations, either whether it's at like the car wash.
So you do the approach, like, so is it like a mixture of people approaching you, or are you the one always approaching people?
No, most people approach us.
Wow.
Because they see that we're doing it all the time.
So if you should approach somebody, what would you like say to them? How are you saying to them, hey, I can do your car?
Well, honestly, if you want the honest truth, my first tactic is to talk them out of it. 100%. You know.
Well, I mean, that's actually a good point, because I can tell you right now, guys, I do the same exact business, and like once I see somebody telling me, okay, they're doing this, I first tell them how much work it is, right?
Absolutely.
And like, one thing I realize nobody likes to do, they don't want to hear a lot of work. Have you felt like you've mastered the art of like getting cars from other people so far?
I don't think it's technically an art form. I think it's our personalities and the way that our work ethic is.
Right.
We both worked, for major companies and organizations. And then obviously as solo entrepreneurs doing things for ourselves, and people just see how motivated we are.
That is pretty sick.
So it's, sometimes you gotta let the bees come to the honey, and not the other way around.
Yo, that's actually cool. I did one video on this channel basically saying the 3 types of people who I get cars from, right? And what I've noticed is I've gotten cars from the regular individual, like just a normal person who's just looking to make some passive income. I would get cars from a business owner that basically have like another business, and he's just trying to spread his income, right? So he's just trying to make some passive income from like another business model, right? And then the third person who I also get is just a person who they do Turo themselves, right? And they know how the business works, they know how everything works.
Those are my favorite people.
Those are my favorite too. Those are the 3 types of people that I've basically seen so far. Do you have another type of person that you've noticed, or do you agree with me that these are like basically the 3 types of people?
I think those are the top 3.
Yep.
Trying to like pinpoint another type of person. Yeah, investors, there are people that invest, and I have seen, so one of the people that we were previously co-hosting for was working with investors, and I did like that model.
Wow.
I did like it.
So investors, meaning they would give you the money and you go buy the cars?
Not always. Sometimes they would buy the car through their business.
Oh.
And then they would, basically give that car to those people.
Okay.
And kind of help with the allocation of where the car is going to be, and help with the price, so that way it meets everybody's standards.
That makes a lot of sense. But have you ever met somebody who said, okay, I'm just going to give you the direct money to go buy the car?
That would be phenomenal. No, I haven't.
Whoa, that's actually sick. So guys, I can tell you that opportunity is always open. Okay, so I've always seen this stuff though, but I can tell you, I have another question for you guys. So when it comes on to like basically buying cars yourself and using the OPC model of, you realize that, okay, I can get cars for free, but you also realize that you could buy it yourself. Do you still buy cars, and which model do you think you're doing the most right now?
So in the beginning, we were buying our own cars, and then we did shift, and we started taking on more people's cars.
Right.
But as our inventory started to grow with the other people's cars, we started realizing we need to build our own fleet, and put some of that money back into our own pockets and not always divvying it out between other people.
Right.
So we did. So we started looking at more recently at buying our own cars, and we've grown our fleet quite substantially.
That's absolutely insane. So to do a percentage split on your fleet right now, would you say you have more OPCs, or do you have more of your own assets?
No, 100% more OPCs.
Yeah. So you basically love the OPC model then, right?
Absolutely. I think it's a great model, and I think for people who are trying to understand the system and the way things work, start with your own car. I think that's the best way to go to kind of get started. And when you get a solid foundation, then you can kind of bring other people in, so that way you then can start growing out your fleet that way. It's a good way to have that you're not putting money out of your own pocket to build your fleet.
That's very true.
And so people have cars.
That is true. So one of the main reasons why I even like the OPC models is because there's no loans involved. There's no car notes. There's none of that involved, right? So, and I've told you guys multiple times that like the one thing that I've seen is just the only thing that makes this business possible is trust, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Trust, honesty, and just integrity, like doing the business, right? So, would you agree to that model, or do you think that okay, to scale up this business, you just need to have more trust and more? How do you see? Do you see the same thing?
People need to know your work ethic.
Right.
People need to know, because if they can see, for instance, but also know the system.
Yeah.
That's why I like some of my best co-hosts are previous hosts.
Wow.
You know,
yeah, that's what I like too.
So they were a host, or even some still are hosts.
Yeah.
But they don't want to manage their entire fleet. Maybe they just want to do 1 or 2 cars.
Very true.
And they want to give us the rest of their fleet to kind of manage for them.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people that are like that as well.
Wow. Man, that's actually cool. So I have another question for you guys right here, right? So basically, if somebody is basically watching this video right now, they see the OPC model, they know that you're making your investors a lot of money, they know that every single time a person gives you a car, they're basically making money. Because I've seen the fact that these cars perform the same as like rental properties, because sometimes I'm like renting out cars to like my investors, I'm renting out cars for them, and I'm like, this is the same as a rental property.
Yeah.
It's making the same amount of money as a rental property.
Yeah.
So if a person wants to send you a car right now, how do they get in contact with you guys?
Or they can reach out to us. We have a business, so I'll actually give you one of my business cards, so that way you can maybe take a picture of it on your page. And then
So what's a number they could call right now to basically get you guys?
You can
in?
give us a call, 781-799-2011. That's how you get a hold of us. You can find us online as well.
All right, so I'll put the number in the description
Boom.
just so you guys can see this, all right? And also, another question that I wanted to ask you guys.
You can ask me as many questions as you want.
All right, so like one of the biggest problems I've faced when doing this is just having like employees outsourcing all the work and basically just having a flow of getting cars to the customer after we have like a scalable amount of cars, right? So what's some of the biggest problems that you face just doing the OPC model and just doing Turo overall?
I think it's just the timing.
Yep.
So everything is about timing, so I'll give you a very quick example. One of my cars came back last night, midnight, and it ended up getting rented early this morning.
Yep.
And we don't want to inconvenience anybody by whether the car is dirty or not prepared or we're not available to deliver it. So we really try to be communicative with all of our customers.
Yep.
So that way we can make sure that all of our timetables collaborate together, so that way they're not inconvenienced in any type of way.
Wow, that actually makes sense. So now go over to like the investor side now. So I know that working with people can be challenging, especially doing OPC, because I'm telling you, I've done it myself. I'm currently doing it right now. And like sometimes I'm dealing with a lot of emotions, I'm dealing with a lot of people's like not understanding how business works. And it's just a lot of moving parts going forward. So what are some of the OPC problems that you face dealing with the investors?
I wouldn't say that we have many issues, because like I said, communication is really important.
Yep.
But if I had to dial down one thing that I try to convey to all of our co-hosts that help give us cars, is to have them understand what the market is like. Because if you're coming into this and you don't understand what the market and what people are looking for a car, then that gets really tough, because people have car payments, and you have to be very mindful of like what people's lives are like, and the fact that they have a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 car with a payment, and for a car that may not have rented for a week. And nobody likes when that happens.
So you have to basically always keep them out there, keep them moving, and just hustling, right?
As much as humanly possible.
Wow, that's actually really cool, and that's actually like a better answer than I was even looking for. All right, so basically you're running a 100 car fleet right now?
Over 100, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
what are some of the systems that you've even put in place, and some of the things that you're like, okay, the business has to run like this because we have so many cars. It has to go like this in order to have like a smooth flow. Like, what are some of those systems that you've put in place? You think?
Number one was having this parking lot. This was huge, having the parking lot.
This lot is huge, by the way. Yo, show the lot, bro. Show the
we
lot.
have a pretty big lot. I think we fit about 28 to some odd cars. It's quite a lot. You know, we have our garage as well.
Yep.
So having the garage with my detail van, so I'm also a car detailer.
Oh, you do detail?
I do detailing as well.
So it's like an all-in-one package, basically.
Well, you know, it kind of like when we first started, I was detailing, and then when we started buying cars, they just kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, so it made sense.
That is really cool, bro. And it's just like being a detailer is probably a lot more beneficial than always having to outsource the detailing and outsourcing the car being clean and stuff. So what I've seen a lot of people do, and I have friends who does this business, and what I've seen them do is not only they would detail the cars they have, they would be taking outside customers.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you take outside customers?
100%. I have a mobile detail van, so I will not just clean my own cars and people who come by here, but if they say, hey, I have a car at this location, can you go clean it over there? And I also offer that service for anyone in the Boston area that if they're doing Turo and they have cars that came back dirty,
you can just take care of that.
Then I will take care of them for them as well.
So that means there's just a lot of scaling to do, bro, because it's just like a lot of moving parts, a lot of people, a lot of hiring people. So how many people does it even take to run this business?
Well,
that's the question.
Holly and I. Yeah, you know, it's Holly and I. We do all of the work. We manage.
Just two of you guys?
Yeah, we manage it by ourselves, and we do all of our own messages, and we do all of our own cleaning, and it's just the two of us.
Oh, that's
like
insane.
The old song says.
Bro, it's just two of them, and just the fact that
we do it full time.
That is crazy.
Yeah, we do it full time.
Because it's just like, I basically have like a 40 car fleet, and I struggle. I don't even think it's possible to just do it with two person. But you guys seem to have like so many different things figured out that you're not just scrambling. You have like a system or a flow already going on, right?
We are a team.
That is cool. That's probably one of the coolest things that I've ever seen so far. This is probably one of the last questions that I have right now. So right now, somebody could be watching this. They hear about the OPC model, getting cars from other people. We already told them, you don't need money. You don't need a bunch of notes. You don't need anything crazy. You basically just need somebody to trust you enough to have your car. So if you should be starting from zero right now, if all this is just gone and like you're starting from zero, but you have the same knowledge right now, what would you do the first thing to basically just get back on your feet by starting with one car? How would you do this?
That's a really good question. I think that I would just follow exactly what we did. I think it's our personality and our interpersonal personality skills that we're able to kind of bring people in. I think it's networking is really, really important. That's kind of how we all met. You know what I mean? Being able to network with one another and sit down and have a conversation about what it is that we do. I feel like trust goes hand in hand with anything. So if people can see and that you're standing on your own 2 feet and you're able to kind of present yourself in a way that, you know, is going to be able to bring people in, I don't think I'll have a problem getting more cars.
So
you can take it all the way right now.
Okay, so now you're at zero. If you're at 0 cars. Yeah, so you're at 0 cars. Where are you going first? Who are you talking to first? Who's the first person you're trying to say, okay, I don't have no cars, I don't know how to do this business. Who first are you talking to get your first OPC car?
If I would talk to probably my family and Holly. You know, that's it. You know, it's
so perfect. That's the perfect answer. Because I can tell you right now, if you're doing OPC, if you're trying to do OPC, if you're trying to get in, one of the first person you should really try to talk to is somebody within your family. Because one of those people are most likely going to be like, okay, I know this person have drive, I know this person will do it, and that's probably the best person you can get to trust so far. So I've always said that the first person you go to is probably your family and just see how it is. But I love how it is so far. But thank you guys a lot for doing the interview.
Hey, not a problem, man.
I definitely want to show you guys so far, but what I want to show you right now, I want to just just to show you guys that this is not a lie, okay? They really have these cars. Just bring up your Turo. Let's show them Turo for a minute. So let's bring them on Turo. So just on Turo right now, 127 listings. Insane, right? This is like an insane level of productivity where we can even see you guys.
Snooze just means they're on long-term trips.
Yep. We have a lot of cars that are on long-term trips.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And this is like the full proof. So bring the camera back. So this is the full proof to show you guys that this business model is literally real. And I know some of you guys have been saying in the comments, nobody wants to do this business, nobody wants to get involved and share any cars with anybody else. But I can tell you right now, this is just a proven fact. But let's just walk down onto their lot for a second and let's go check out some of their cars, because I see you guys basically have everything here. You guys have the Tesla Model Y. That's probably the coolest one. This is probably a money printer. These are the money printers.
This just came back from 4 months.
Yeah, this was gone for 4 months.
So bro, they have 4-month trip cars. 4-month trip, and I see you guys have the fucking Cybertruck over here. So how does this perform for you guys?
It does fairly well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it does fairly well. I think it still has that
Let's see in there.
the new car nostalgia, as I would like to call it. So this one just came back as well.
Insane.
So it was gone for a few days.
Insane.
You know?
And
they took full advantage of the
and this is an OPC too, right?
Yes, it is.
So you see what I'm saying? So this is the proven fact that I'm showing you guys. People will send any amount of cars, they'll send any type of cars, it doesn't even matter, because most people out there, they're just trying to cash flow, right? So once you can provide the cash flow and you can provide them with like a full-on system, anything is possible.
How about this one? This one is my nephew's car.
So let's see this one.
So my nephew, he's young guy. He's an engineer.
Yep.
And wanted to buy a car.
It's a yellow lot box. This is crazy. I haven't even seen it.
He wanted to buy a car, but he didn't want to worry about all the car payments yet. So he still has his other car, and he said once this is all paid off and ready to go, then he's going to take it for his own personal car. But until then, he's using it as an investment.
Wow. So that's a strategic play then.
Absolutely.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? So not only people are using the business model to pay off car notes, to just make some extra money, they're using it as strategic plays to purchase the actual cars that they actually want. And that's probably one of the biggest strategies that I've learned from one of my mentors, right? So one of my mentors told me, if you want a personal car, his name is Dave, he's pretty cool, right? So if you want like a personal car, like say for instance you want like a Corvette or something nice, what you do is you have a normal regular economy car and you have that pay for the nice car.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's how I see it right now. Well, yo,
we had 2 Corvettes, we had a Porsche 911 during the winter time.
Cool.
They're off in warmer climates.
Wow.
You know, during this time, and then probably once the summer season, you know, kicks back up here, they may end up back here. So
that is pretty sick. So, and that's the thing that I love the most about this business, because they're able to just network, we send cars back and forth, and that's what we probably do together right now. So after this meeting, we probably start sending cars back and forth with each other. Like you send me some of your fleet, I send you some of my fleet. That's basically what I see the community is evolving to right now, because every time I meet like another Turo host or another person who's just around, they have no problem just sharing the cars. So you basically use this car to go on all the jobs, right?
Correct.
To clean all the Turo cars and stuff like that.
Yes, so the van stays inside here for all my Turo cars. But occasionally I'll get jobs where somebody says, I need you to go clean my car or so on and so forth. And I have this ready. So I have the water tank, I have my vacuum, my generator, all my soaps and everything else that comes along with it. And then, you know, the most important thing is, you know, you got to have your headphones.
Headphones, exactly. Like,
you know.
Wow.
So you can listen.
So you
to
optimize this entire car to just basically.
It's a tool.
To just have like the cars being cleaned all the time.
Absolutely.
So guys, you can obviously see that these guys have it all figured out when it comes on to having the full systems from how the cars are going to be cleaned.
Don't judge me right now.
No, you know how it is.
We're in production.
Yeah. But it's really cool that you guys just have a full built out system with the detailing and just everything in one. This is probably the coolest part of here.
Well, then I got my carpet shampooer, you know, for seats and carpets.
Yeah.
You know, so a car comes back and maybe somebody threw up in a car or some crazy happened. I can, you know, bust that out. I have all this stuff to get everything out. Steamer, I have my steamer over here, you know, so I can steam clean everything. You can tell that thing is beat to hell because it gets a lot. It gets a lot of work. It gets a lot of work.
Wow.
You know, so there's no fooling around here. We really try hard to get the job done.
No, I love this, bro, because you guys are the perfect example of why you have so many cars, because obviously nobody would send you cars if you weren't doing like a good job, right?
Yeah.
So I genuinely believe that. Thanks again, Brian, for even doing this with me, bro.
It's my pleasure.
Sick. All right, so you guys see this again for yourself. I'm gonna try to get more guests on here that's just doing the same exact business model. The whole thing is to just fly to them, but just let me know if you like this video. I'm gonna leave all your information in the comments. So if you wanna get involved with like Holly and Brian, if you have a car that you wanna send to them, if you have anything out there that you're like, okay, I wanna make some passive income this way or that way, these are the guys to talk to, okay? So I'm gonna put the numbers in the description for you guys. So just let me know what you think about the videos, like and subscribe.